It's safe to say that the Toyota Corolla Cross truly started the hybrid revolution here in the Philippines. This crossover recently got an update with a few styling changes, additional features, and an all-hybrid lineup. What we have here is the 2024 Toyota Corolla Cross 1.8 GRS HEV, and it's priced at 1,917,000 pesos. So let's start by talking about the exterior of the Corolla Cross GRS. Hello, Kitty Cat. So yeah, it looks basically the same as before, and hi, hello. Anyway, again, going back, so the GRS still looks the same as before. It doesn't receive that new front fascia or front grille that the V and the G variants get. So we have this huge black GRS grille. It's finished in gloss black, and we do have a new set of headlights over here with sequential turn signals on both sides, of course. We have LED fog lights down here and a unique bumper for this variant as well. It's a bit more sculpted, and we do have some front parking sensors. So I do think, despite it still looking like it was before, it still looks very good right now. And towards the side, you will see that this is basically the same as before. So nothing has really changed. So we have the same 18-inch two-tone alloy wheels wrapped in Michelin Primacy tires, and then we have basically, yeah, the same everything over here except this new HEV badge. So this is what Toyota calls their Beyond Zero badge, and it says HEV here instead of hybrid. Then the rest of it, we do have some roof rails for this GRS. We have the black side mirror caps, and we also have this panel over here, the silver panel down over there. Then moving here towards the back, we do have the Corolla Cross name up here on this chrome piece right here. And this color is also called Emotional Red. By the way, it's one of two colors you can get with the Corolla Cross. So it's red or white, and with me wearing green right now, it looks like Merry Christmas today. And towards the back of the Corolla Cross, it's basically the same changes as what we have on the side. So we have the Beyond Zero HEV badge instead of hybrid, and well, that's it. Everything else is the same. So we still have the same clear taillight. This is interesting because the V variant gets new taillights. This one gets this completely same piece of tails. It's clear lenses for the GRS, and we also have the GR Sport badge down here. Then over here, the Corolla Cross, the infamous Corolla Cross badge, because the Corolla word is best placed down here instead of there. So yeah, I hope they fix that soon, because this is already fixed in other markets. And then opening this, we do have a power tailgate still. So it opens with a pretty decent speed, and space back here is also pretty decent. So it's one of the bigger ones in the subcompact crossover segment, although I believe Toyota can also classify this as compact. So anyway, we have a very good amount of space, and under the floor we do have a spare tire. So that is rare for pretty much any hybrid vehicle these days. So vehicles like the Honda CR-V, and yeah, those kinds of vehicles don't have spare tires. The Corolla Cross still has a spare tire, and we also have a cargo cover over there. So yeah, we can now head inside the Corolla Cross. And now we're inside the Corolla Cross GRS, and the changes here are also very limited, and it's up to you to tell me if it's good or bad for you, because I think it is also quite mixed in that regard. So we'll talk about it in just a bit. But anyway, everything here does look pretty much the same as before. So we have basically the same aesthetic. So we have this hard touch plastic area on top of the dashboard with this piano black area here, splitting it into this soft touch area, which is quite big. Some people will find it big, some people will find this fine. At least it is soft touch plastic with some real white stitching over there, which gives a good amount of contrast for this interior. Then also door panel soft touch on top, and some leather for the armrest, then a couple of hard touch areas over there as well, but they do feel of very good quality. Then just a little comment about the design. Some people do think that this is starting to look a bit old. I also agree with them. So it is starting to look quite dated, but at the same time, Toyota is still doing some stuff to make it much more modern. So one of those is the new instrument cluster here. So it's a fully digital instrument cluster, and it's very customizable. In fact, I believe this is the same one that you can find in the new Land Cruiser Prado. And again, very customizable. So we do have loads of information. You can do so much to show what you want here. So we have our usual average fuel consumption, our hybrid display, of course, because it is a hybrid vehicle, and also our trip meters, fuel gauge, everything is over here. There's too much to enumerate, and it is, yeah, it's just very detailed instrument cluster. And it also looks very nice. You can customize as well how it look. So anyway, steering wheel is the same as before. It has some piano black because this is the GRS. I believe it will be silver in the other variants. And we have our controls for our infotainment system on the left, and on the right our Toyota safety sense controls. And then our horn is very Toyota Vios, so it doesn't match the aesthetic of this car, but it's very easy to change anyway. And this is also tilt and telescopic, so we do have a decent amount of adjustment over there. And here in the center is what I'm telling you could be good or bad depending on how you see it. So this is a new 10-inch touchscreen infotainment system, and Toyota has eliminated those volume knobs, those hard buttons that we had before. Now it's completely touchscreen and touch sensitive. I'm not a huge fan of that, and also the interface doesn't quite look as nice as it was before. It definitely looks very aftermarket, and still though it is at least very easy to control, very basic in terms of functionality, so that makes it easier to use. And we do have wireless Apple CarPlay, and I believe it's wired Android Auto, so at least we do have those connectivity stuff. And one thing I noticed here as well is the USB port. So we have USB A and C, but they are located here on the screen itself, so that's another thing that makes it look and feel cheap. And we will find this tiny cover over here probably disappearing in a year or so, or even less. But yeah, so that's how we'll connect through USB port. We don't have any other USB ports in this vehicle here in front, at least. And down here we have our dual zone automatic climate control, and just like before, we still have our dials and our buttons and that little display in the middle, which is always much appreciated. So of course, very easy to control everything that you want. It will also have an eco mode for that in case you probably want to save more fuel. Then moving down here, we do have some blank buttons, so I don't know why this is top of the line, but we don't have anything down here, so that kind of cheaps it out additionally compared to what I already showed you earlier. But I believe that these functions are for the other markets and are not really applicable in ours. So anyway, moving further down, we have a wireless phone charger. My iPhone 12 Pro Max, so my phone's quite old, fits there perfectly. Larger phones, you will have to put it the other way around to charge it, but anyway, yeah, it works. And then moving here in the center console, we have our drive mode button, stability control button, and an EV mode button, which works when your battery is charged quite well. And also our shifter here is just a traditional one. It doesn't really scream I'm a hybrid or I'm the future, so very traditional over here. And then next to that, our new electronic parking brake with auto hold. The old one only had a foot parking brake down here, so this one now gets electronic, and two cup holders here, and our center armrest here with a decent amount of storage, and it also slides if you want more. And now let's talk about the seats of the Corolla Cross GRS. So this has leather seats because of course top of the line, you expect that at this price point already. It's perforated, and it has a light gray accent or contrast part over there because this is the GRS. It also has the GR logo on the headrest, and it is quite comfortable, so it does have a good amount of support, and it is quite soft as well, so not too firm, which I really like. The driver's seat is power operated. We don't have lumbar support, so that is something that I'm missing right here, because at times I did find my back aching, but yeah, for the most part it is pretty comfortable anyway. Then you'll also see that we have a large panoramic glass roof, and the motor is quite loud, so it's screaming at you, opening and closing once you do. So anyway, it's a very big glass panel, so we can't open it completely like open air, but yeah, it does do its job to brighten up this cabin. It replaces the old normal size sunroof that we had before, and again, very loud. So yeah, it's kind of screaming at you in its operation. And now it's quiet. Now we're at the back seat of the Corolla Cross GRS, and here nothing has changed, so it's basically the same as before. Space though is something that the Corolla Cross could probably improve for sure. It is rather tight considering the size of this vehicle. It offers about, well, just a little bit more than what the Nissan Kicks would offer in its smaller package. So again, yeah, so it's a bit tight. I'm 5 feet and 7 inches in height, so legroom is decent, footroom is also pretty good. Headroom feels bigger thanks to the glass roof that I mentioned earlier, but again, it could be bigger. The Honda HR-V is also smaller than this, I believe, and the Mitsubishi X-Force, but they both offer way more space than this. So anyway, other stuff that we have here, we have two aircon vents here in the center, and we have two USB-C ports down here. Then here in the door panel, it's still soft touch. Thankfully, Toyota did not downgrade that. We have our leather armrest, and we also have a cup holder over here, which can, just so you can see it there. That's how it is. So yeah, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, we have GR floor mats, and we also have here in the center our armrest with 2 cup holders. And yeah, I guess we can now head on out. And now we're driving the Toyota Corolla Cross GRS. So I've shown you this before during our first impressions of this facelifted versions. This is actually this exact same vehicle as well, but now we're able to drive it more extensively, and so far what I have to say is that it feels basically the same as what I showed you as well before with the Corolla Cross V. Maybe that was in 2022, I believe. So yeah, it feels pretty much the same as that. So engine is still the same, available in all variants. It's the 1.8 liter naturally aspirated gasoline engine paired with an electric motor and lithium-ion battery that produces a total of 122 horsepower and 142 Newton meters of torque, mated to a CVT. So like I mentioned, again, it won't wow you with any power and torque. It doesn't really have that much, again, but it is very comfortable to drive. I will tell you that, and I will guarantee you that it's very comfortable. So that will make it a very easy daily driver. It does have the decent amount of power and torque just for everyday use, just for enough for overtaking, enough for your use on the highway. It's just, yeah, that's it, enough. That's what this car is in terms of its hybrid powertrain. And since I mentioned it is very comfortable, that starts with our steering, because this is very light, but it's not light in a scary way. It's just the right amount of light, and it does offer us a very good amount of feedback for just our daily drive. So in the city, it'll stay light, but once you do have to speed up on the highway, it will give you a very good amount of feedback, which helps you know that you are really going the direction that you want, and you know what the car is doing all the time. And the same goes for the ride of this car. So this does have a GRS suspension, so a GRS McPherson strut in front and torsion beam at the back, which I'm not sure how much it differs compared to the other variants of the Corolla Cross, but I have to say that maybe, if I remember correctly, it is a bit softer than before, but not really that much of a difference. And also, like I mentioned earlier, the seats could use some lumbar support, so that's only what's really missing here, and I think it'll be a perfectly comfortable vehicle to be in. And when it comes to NVH insulation, it's also a very good place to be in, because road noise is actually quite, well, really quiet, even at higher speeds. Wind noise is non-existent in this car, and the vibrations in this cabin is pretty much non-existent as well. There are no unnecessary vibrations at all. What I do think Toyota will have to improve, and I already mentioned this before, is the engine vibrations that come into the cabin. So when you are on pure electric power, obviously you won't be feeling any of that, but once the engine does kick in, you will definitely hear it. You will feel it. The car even nudges a little bit forward and backward, depending whatever, but it will be felt. It will make itself known. So I think that's the downside of this. Vehicles like the Honda CR-V, the Chinese hybrids like the BYD Sea Lion 6, the GWMs, you don't feel them at all. You hear them very little bit, but you cannot feel them at all. Nissan Kicks even, you will hear it very loud, but you won't feel it at all. This one, you can hear it, you can feel it. So that's something that Toyota can definitely improve in the future. I hope they really do. And now let's talk about the most important thing about this vehicle being a hybrid. So inside the city, we're able to get a fuel economy figure of around 25 kilometers per liter, which is excellent. On the highway, I was able to get around 24 as well, or on the lower 23 kilometers per liter. So still very good numbers. Understandably, it is less efficient on the highway since the electric motor will be working harder and the engine will be running more as well. A mixed highway and city drive also returned to me about 27 kilometers per liter. In fact, earlier I was able to get as much as 40 kilometers per liter. So you'll really be saving fuel in this car, despite its rather small fuel tank of just 36 liters. So maybe it's another thing Toyota can probably give us, a bigger fuel tank, so that we don't have to visit the gas station as often. One thing I really do like about driving is going back to how it sounds is when you're at lower speeds coming from a stop, it sounds like an electric car naturally because the engine is off. So it sounds like an electric car. It sounds very, I don't know, it just sounds funny. It sounds weird. It sounds very futuristic, and I actually really like that. The engine also does sound quite good once it turns on, and once you're accelerating a bit harder, it will sound very good as well. And anyway, we also have here equipped on this variant, also on the V variant by the way, is the full suite of Toyota safeties. And so we have stuff like adaptive cruise control, lane tracing assist, I believe that's what it's called. We also have the pre-collision assist or autonomous emergency braking, and all of these do work very, very well. And I didn't find any time that the car would give us unnecessary warnings or unnecessary emergency braking, and the adaptive cruise control really works well. Much more the lane tracing assist, which works a lot like what we have in Honda Sensing and Ford's Copilot 360 system. So yeah, again, works really, really well. So just overall, it's a very comfortable car. Again, it's not gonna be wowing you with anything extraordinary like its rivals, but it's very comfortable. It's really designed for daily use, whether you stay inside the city or go out to the provinces, go out on the provincial highway on a long drive. It's gonna stay very comfortable, not just for the driver, but also all the passengers. Plus, of course, it saves us a lot of fuel.